What's up, YouTube? Tim is here. Now, the 2020s, Pixar had some pretty decent stuff in the 2020s, right? As of right now. Of course, I just checked out Elio, really good film there. So, I'm of course, since we're of course in 2025, I decided it was a cool idea to do my rankings for the Pixar movies of the 2020s, because there's been some really good Pixar movies of this decade. Now, there's only been like 8 Pixar films, so here are my official ranking. Number 8 is Lightyear. This is probably my least favorite out of the bunch, but it's actually not as bad as most people make out to be. This movie, of course, is the origin story of the real Buzz Lightyear, and it follows like the Space Ranger on a dangerous mission through like space, time, and all. You of course got Chris Evans, who so many people was complaining about, not having Tim Allen on board. Seeing the movie, I could see why they chose Chris Evans, because this is pretty much not like, I mean, Tim Allen's voice coming out of this Buzz Lightyear would have been weird. I'm sorry, I love Tim Allen. I think Tim Allen's great, and he was great as the toy of Buzz Lightyear. I still could not really hear his voice coming out of this Lightyear, And this is not the Lightyear from like the toy Lightyear. This is pretty much like the character that was the Lightyear character was based on, And it's actually, again, it's not a bad one. It's just a little underwhelming, I admit. But yeah, it's not really my favorite out of the bunch, though. Number 7, I of course just saw this one, and that is Elio. I just did my review for it. Elio is a remarkable film. It is a really decent, charming flick. About this kid named Elio who is mistakenly beamed into the into space and becomes like Earth's ambassador. And of course, it's a really decent one, say the least. Really decent effects, decent characters, really emotional at times. It is a really decent one worth giving out. It is a shame it's probably not going to do well, but alright. Number 6 is Soul. I felt so sorry for this film when it was released, because this was a movie that didn't really get much of a theatrical release, because if you guys remember, this did come out during the pandemic, and obviously it did not. Well, it technically did got a theatrical release like a few years later. Remember, like last year. Remember when Pixar decided to release 3 of their past films that they dumped on Disney Plus, and then just release those in theirs. Soul was of course one of them. And it's a really decent one. It is, of course, a movie about jazz. Of course, a movie about the afterlife. It's a little bit more of a mature film than most Pixar movies are. But I still quite enjoy it. You got Jamie Foxx, Tina Fey. It is a really cute, charming one. Great music here. It actually, I think it actually won Best Animated Feature at the Oscar, if I'm not mistaken. Well deserved there. Actually, I think it was the last Pixar movie to win Best Animated Feature, which is something. Alright. Number 5 is Onward. Another movie that came out during the pandemic and all. I remember seeing this one in theaters. It was actually the last Pixar movie I saw in theaters until turning red. And Onward, of course, starring Tom Holland, Chris Pratt. About these 2 elf brothers who go on a magical quest to spend one last day with their late father here. And, of course, it is about a film about brothers and stuff. It's a really decent one, great voice talents, really charming, love the brothers dynamic between the 2. Again, this movie did come out, about a week before, the theater shut down because of the pandemic and all. And it didn't really... I felt sorry for it. This thing just got pulled out of theaters pretty quick because of the pandemic, and it got really early release on Disney Plus, which is unfortunate there, but it's still really decent one, worth giving it out. Alright. Number 4 is Inside Out 2. Now, of course, this one did come out last year. I quite enjoyed Inside Out 2. I thought it was a really nice follow-up. Maybe not as good as the first film, but I still thought it was excellent. Of course, this time around, Riley is a teenager facing new pressure and emotions and all. I really loved Exotic. She stole lots of scenes, voiced by the great Maya Hawke. I mean, Inside Out 2 definitely had some fun moments to it, some fun aspects. Definitely interested in seeing a part 3 if they decide to make that. Alright, number 3 is Elemental. Elemental is still a really good one. I'm really glad that this movie did grow legs and it did pretty well in the box office throughout, because when it was released first, when it was first released, it didn't really do as much as well here, but then it grew legs and did really well in the next couple of weeks and all. It's still a really terrific one. It is of course a romantic comedy, a movie about immigrant, it's pretty much themes of immigration, love, self discovery. I really love the world they put out here. It's such a good one. Hopefully they'll do a sequel to that too. Who knows? All right, number 2 is Luca. Luca is a really remarkable one. Of course, it is about like a young sea monster named Luca who experiences a life-changing summer on Italian Riviera when he ventures onto the land discovers here, and all while hiding his true identity from the human world. And Luca definitely is a really cute one, really decent coming of age tale. Of course, you got the voice talents of Jacob Tremblay, Maya Rudolph. I think Jim Gaffigan was also in this. It's a really decent one. Really decent movie about self discovery, about friendship, coming of age, and as someone who's Italian, I love the Italian heritage in this. It's such a really good one. And my number one favorite, the best Pixar movie of this decade, is Turning Red. This might end up being my favorite Pixar movie of the decade until Toy Story 5 comes out next year. Who knows? But Turning Red, it's just a remarkable film. Of course, it is about this 13-year-old named Mali discovers that she transforms into a giant panda whenever she gets strong emotions, and of course, a magic curse tied to her family. It is a really heartwarming film. Really love the music in this. The voice sounds by Seth O was great. I just so wholly enjoy Turning Red. It's just such a good one. Really decent coming of age tale. This was, of course, the first Pixar movie I just saw in theaters since Onward, and it was so cool seeing a new Pixar movie in theaters. And of course, they did drop it in Disney Plus. But again, I was lucky enough to actually find a theater that was showing this film, and it was a really and really shows that Pixar movies are meant for the big screen, not straight to Disney Plus. And I'm happy that last year Pixar decided to pretty much do a theatrical re-release of not Onward. How weird they did do that with Onward, to be honest, but of the likes of Soul, Luca, and Turning Red. I was actually lucky enough to watch Luca. Either I already seen it on Disney Plus back in 2021. I was lucky enough to actually rewatch it again in theaters last year, and it was a great. Even though it was cool watching it on TV, it's still a good film. I still did quite enjoy. I had much better experience watching that one in theaters. Same as Turning Red. It's just such a remarkable one worth giving go. Hopefully they'll do a sequel to this, but who knows. Anyway, that's pretty much it there. Here is, of course, my rundown. Number 8, Lightyear. 9 of Elio. 6, Soul. 5, Onward. 4, Inside Out 2. 3, Elemental. 2, Luca. And number 1 is Turning Red. Let me ask you guys, what are some of your favorite and least favorite Pixar movies of the 2020s? Did you like Turning Red? Were you even into Lightyear, Luca, etc.? Drop comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Tim.